And let's just go ahead and go early so we're not late to the live stream, like freaking always. All right, so we should be live. Hopefully everybody's doing good. If I can get a yay or nay on audio being absolute garbage in chat, that'd be fantastic. I mean, let's be honest, it probably is garbage, but that's besides the point. That is not the point. If you're watching this afterwards on YouTube, hello, welcome. This is going to be a live stream where we just develop a very simple inventory. We're most likely just going to be following and may, as long as we got time, branch off and expand a little bit upon a tutorial I found on YouTube that's pretty decent for making a simple inventory system. I believe we're going to be using scriptable objects and to accomplish the goal that we want. And just so we are, you know, doing something right now. Okay, so YouTube has went from telling me that there's like a handful of people in here to tell me that there's no one in the stream. Also, again, if I can just get a yay or nay on audio, that'd be fantastic. Let's see, we're gonna go in here and check this out. So, as you can tell, let me go in here to the game window and drag it out. We'll just make it, yeah, about that big. Why not? And so you can see we do have like an actual game pretty much made. We do have some features, but we're going to expand upon it. Hold on. Wait, what? YouTube's giving me error. Please use a keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. Currently, keyframes are not. YouTube, I will never understand the amount. I don't know. I'll never understand the errors. Thank you. I will butcher your name if I try to say it. I believe your last name is Ilhead. Iliad, maybe. I am terrible when it comes to names, but thank you for letting me know the audio is good. So if the audio is good and everything, we will just move on. And I also totally forgot you can't see my screen. That's freaking great job, man. So let's switch over now that audio is good. Switch on over to the main desktop, and here's the game. So let's go ahead and kind of show off the project, talk a little bit about it. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to ask them. So first things first, what is OpenDead? If you don't know, OpenDead, well, and you shouldn't know, let me go ahead and just clarify that there. OpenDead is a project that I've been working on for the past few weeks. That's why I haven't been pretty much doing anything on the YouTube channel. Been a little bit away working on it. So we actually have a game document here, which is not normal. So the people who were going to help on the project, one is currently getting his computer right now, getting it all fixed up, and the other may help eventually. We're not too sure. So don't pay too much attention to like the people working on the project, like when we're going to be doing all that shit. That doesn't matter. So let's mainly pay attention to the elevator pitch and then the systems that we need. So the elevator pitch for OpenDead is it's a stylized open world first person survival game. It focuses on interesting PvE interactions such as base raiding. And obviously if we're focusing on base raiding, that means there's going to be base building. So these are the systems that I kind of know that we need to have a minimum functioning prototype that we can show to someone and them understand the game's, you know, idea and everything. So we definitely need an inventory. We need a main menu, obviously, a pause menu, recoil, weapon switching, weapon attachments, base building, corrupted and survivor AI, base rating, a day and night cycle, and a mini map, or at least some form of map where you can see it. Probably not mini map, but you get my point, a mini map. And eventually at some point we might add a compass as well that you can get and have that, so you can call out players, or well, you wouldn't need to do that because it's a single player game anyway, but whatever, we might add a compass at some point, but that's not too complicated of a system to add. It's really not that big of a deal. But back to what we should be caring about here, the actual game. We're going to be watching this simple inventory system here from CodeMonkey. He also is this is the YouTube channel where I'm going to get the base building functionality from, because he has a great video teaching you how to do that in like a couple hours at most. It's really great. So we're going to implement this very basic, simple inventory system, and then we will expand on it later. But you know, you got to start somewhere, and CodeMonkeys has a great tutorial for it. But before we dive into that, just for anyone who hasn't seen it, yes, we are using Unity. And Astrolol, I don't know if you're stating that I'm on Windows or if whatever, but yes, this is obviously Windows. If you couldn't tell by the Windows logo at the bottom, or you know, in the middle. Here's the thing, HexDSL, who is like the last person I would ever expect to even touch Windows, is using it on his laptop and actually really likes Windows 11. Like, Windows 11 is actually pretty solid. Like, I know you might hate me for saying it, but it's actually pretty solid. But yes, we are using Unity. Now, so let's go ahead and talk about the what systems I've got in here so far. So we have hand IK for holding guns. So we start off with a pistol here. Damn, hold on, my dog has all of a sudden decided that now is the time to start making a whole bunch of noise. But stop. You have like 30 different things in this room that you could be playing with. All right. So we have hand IK for the gun, and oh my god, dude, it's just like one thing after another. I can't with this dog. He's all excited. But anyway, so we've got hand IK for holding guns. We do have the weapon switching. When you fire, we not only have a muzzle flash and sound effects. Now, they're not the most amazing sound effects, that's for damn sure, but they're there. We have recoil when you fire. Also, if I go down here and empty this, we have an empty, you know, thing for the gun where the slide stays back. Okay, hold on. Not gonna lie, the UI is hot, but I just can't use it. Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, I used to say that I couldn't use Windows, just like morally, and now that it, like, or ethically, and now kind of just have to if I don't want to have to spend like 3 hours fiddling around with OS shit, and I just can't be bothered. I want to work on a game. I don't want to spend 2.5 hours like figuring out how to get my freaking Steam library to show up, even though it's formatted with exFAT and it should just show up. I'm not messing around with all that. But we've got stepping up, and you can't step up like some places, like right here. It's a little too high for you to step up, so you do actually have to jump up there. So we got all that configure working right. Now, also, we do have fire mode switching. So if I press B, we can change our fire mode to full auto, and now we can shoot. And just know, the muzzle flash for this gun, I was working on it last night at like 2 o'clock in the morning before I fell asleep. I know it's terrible, okay? I know it's terrible. Trust me. Trust me, I know. It will be replaced, but it's just there for right now. And if we switch over to our other gun here, we, you know, are still in single shot. This one doesn't have full auto, so we can't switch it. We can go back, switch back over to our single fire mode. Perfect. We all good to go. And we, oh yeah, the last thing I can show off is we also have an ADS system. So, well, I mean, obviously we run around, we can ADS, so we can zoom straight down, shoot, perfect. Awesome. Oh, and also, I did get some very simple water added. So our island has water around it. Bada bing, bada boom. We switch over to our okay. We have ADS there. We can switch over to our full auto mode. There we go. So we've got kind of a groundwork set down for the game. Why don't you just use Visual Studio 2022? I fucking hate Visual Studio. Visual Studio is a piss poor version of VS Code. Let's be real. VS Code's better. Well, VS Codium is the best because it just removes all of the telemetry from VS Code. But I honestly don't know why I just installed VS Code this time around instead of VS Codium. I mean, they're pretty much the same thing. I have no idea. XFAT on Linux, for sure it shouldn't work. BTW using closed source stuff for making open source stuff is kind of making a lot of people mad. Sorry. Cool. Godot is way more difficult to implement this stuff in for me because I don't really particularly like GD script. I'm familiar with Unity. I like it. Its licensing is pretty, yeah, it's not open source, but as far as licenses go that aren't GPL, it's pretty fucking great. You don't have to pay anything until you make $100,000. I think that's pretty fair. Yeah, that's a pretty fair thing. Once you're making that much dough, give them $5,000 of that 100,000 a year. Pretty fair. Pretty fair. You know, if they're responsible for you making $95,000 that year, I think you can afford to give them the extra 5,000. You know, pretty fair. Pretty fair. And sorry, I mean, it's what it is. So let's go ahead and get started on the inventory system, because we just need to make a very simple one. And yeah, I don't know. Does anyone have any questions about the game? Just before I go moving on to the inventory system, just in case anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. I, you know, don't want to like move on without answering any possible questions.
Video, we're going to make a nice simple inventory system. This is a very simple class that lets us store unique and stackable items. We can spawn them in the world, pick them up, use them, and drop them. Let's begin.
All right, so yeah, that's pretty much all we're doing here is just getting a very basic inventory laid out. Nothing special. How am I going to handle progression? So the idea of the game is, so it's a straight survival game, not in the vein of something like Valheim or something like that. More along the lines of Dead Side. So let me go ahead and go into Steam, and we will play a little bit of Dead Side just so you can, just in case you've never played Dead Side or something like DayZ, you can actually kind of understand what I'm talking about. What the survival game, we're not really going for like, and eventually we will most definitely add a crafting system eventually, but we don't need it right away. Let me go ahead and go in here. Even though I've turned off the music in here, it's going to go on the it's going to go on the menu no matter what. I can't freaking change it in this game, and I hate that because it is copyrighted. So like this stream like will get demonetized. Wow, I've never had that happen. Hello? Never had the shadows come in like that. That's crazy. Okay, but so in this game you kind of run around, you get loot, and you try not to, well, you try not to die, and you can find shit. Like we found a whole bunch of shit here. We can go to traders and sell our stuff and get money to buy different things. And what we can do is we can take that shit and we can build bases, and essentially we can go and do missions. We can add on to our base, store more good loot, go and do higher level missions. Like you can see there are scavengers down here. So in OpenDead, kind of the idea is you don't you don't really level up or anything like that. The longer you survive, like the longer you survive, the longer you can, you know, kind of build relationships with the survivor AI that's in the game. So, oh my God, hold on. Sorry, my sister dropped off some coffee and Buddy went crazy. But, I mean, I am thankful for the coffee. I know you can use other stuff in Godot, but that was not my point. I don't like GDScript, and almost all the tutorials because I'm unfamiliar with Godot, there's some things that I kind of have to relearn, and there's not like a wealth of knowledge like there is for Unity on Godot. You know, Godot's not a bad engine. I'm not saying that, but Godot would not. I didn't come here for the closed source stuff, but dude, you can always leave, man. That is totally fine. It won't hurt if you don't like what I'm doing and what I'm interested in. That's fine. That's completely fine. You don't have to stay around. But it's totally fine. Oh my God, we're getting shot at. Oh, it's because of that guy right there. We'll just go down here and murder these guys. Go for it. Why not? Bye-bye. Okay. Well, now we're not playing Dead Side, so we're gonna leave. So let's see. Yeah, so you won't really have progression or anything. The AI in the game, you'll kind of piss them off the longer you stay alive. Because the longer you stay alive, the survivor AI is kind of just like you. They have priorities. They want to go and get, they'll want to go and get bandages or like heals if they don't have them, more ammo, and guns. And then once they hit a certain point, they can decide to try and come and find you or kill other survivors. If they decide to, they'll start getting the stuff needed to build a base, and they'll build a base themselves. And kind of you have an incentive to go out and kill the other AI in the game, because an AI that lives for a very long time might get a big base built up for you to go raid. And once an AI does get a base built, they'll also decide, hey, I've got the stuff too. They'll start making the stuff to come base build or base raid, and then raid your base. So it's kind of just you'll build, and also at, like when you kill an AI, like let's say you go and kill an AI, they have a chance, they'll have a randomized chance of deciding to come and kill you, and like they'll just focus on that. They'll get a gun, ammo for it, and then they'll just try and head straight to the last position you're at, and then they'll try and hunt you down from there. So there'll kind of be interesting interactions with, you know, the AI in the game. Hopefully. You know, messing around with AI is not my strong suit. And there's a lot of things I'm doing in this game that are not my strong suit, but you know, whatever. Let's close out a Blender and let's go in here. Cool, we don't...
Here is my player, and I can simply move him around. Then in here in the UI, you can see my current inventory.
Hey, low spec.
So
how's
I'm
it
carrying
going?
a sword, a health potion, and a mana potion. Scattered throughout the map, you can see a bunch of items on the floor. Now if I move, I can pick up. There you go. When I picked it up, it was added into my inventory. As you can see, some items are stackable and some are not. So if I grab this sword, there you go, that one is not stackable. As you can see in here is a 10 coin. There you go, I've got 10 coins now, 11, 12, 13. Yep. Then in the inventory, I can right click in order to drop an item. And I can also left click to use them. So over here, the mana potion, left click, and there you go, I use a mana potion, and I've used a health potion. So just like that, we have a very nice and very functional inventory class. So click, drop, and so on, and we can do anything. All right, awesome. So this is our goal. Let's get to it. So over here is my starting scene. I just have the player walking around and nothing else. Okay, let's begin making our inventory class. Here we make a new C# script. Let's call this the inventory and open it up.
Okay. I do like the, oops, let's put this over here. And minimize. We want to go into our assets and our scripts folder here. Yeah, me and Matt tried switching over to Manjaro. I switched back to Windows 11 in about I want to say like 25 minutes. No, it was probably like 35, something like that. You know, after I got it installed and everything, because I couldn't get my Steam library to show up, and pretty much I was just gonna have to reformat the entire drive and re-download like 600 gigabytes of games to be able to stay on Linux. I'm like, no, no. Let's see. I just can't be asked. All right. And hold on. Here in these hand control, why are y'all working? Like, but here I had to add using system for it to work. We'll never understand, but okay. Yeah, since everything's gonna be using it, I don't think we're gonna need to serialize a lot of stuff in here. Doubt it. Let's get this loaded back up. I want to respond to chat. Sounds cool. I'm thinking now, what if you like make certain resources scarce? So certain crops that you need to eat can only grow on good soil found in some areas on the map. Yes, there will be, that is definitely something that we're going to do. Like some loot will only spawn at certain places in the map. There will also be 1 or 2 military spots that you can go to find you know, better, you know, guns and protective gear. And here's the one thing that I will say when it comes to that. Just so everyone knows, I am trying to keep scope creep in mind here and keep this as something that I can realistically not just do, but also like finish. Because I really want to play this game so much. Like not only do I want to make it, I want to play this game. But the map here, now look, our player is down there. Okay. Okay. That's our player. And here's the map. And that's the building in front of them. You can see. So the map is, it looks really, really big, but it's actually not that big. It's just really not. I mean, it looks massive, but it's not super massive. We've probably got enough space on here for about 5 towns and 1 military spot. That's about it. Like, you know, probably like 1 airfield and then like 5 or 6 towns. That's probably all we've got room for, which is good. That means I don't have to model an absolute crap load of buildings, but, you know, at least a good amount. So if some other group of survivors dominate an area, you need to raid them to get that ground. Yes. And that's something that we can definitely do later on. So this is a single player game. There will be multiplayer added on later, but by multiplayer, I don't mean actually like playing on the same map with someone else. Like, let's say me and you, Ghost Ranger, and Art Center are all playing the game, and we're talking in Discord, and we're talking about like what's going on in our games and stuff. If Art Center and you need some stuff and I've got a whole bunch of the things that you need, eventually in the game we'll be able to do a thing where I could go to a trader and request a cargo drop, put things in the cargo drop, and it show up in your instance of the game. Well, like, that will obviously have to do, we'll have to come up with how we're going to implement that system. I know kind of the networking stack that we'd probably use to accomplish it, which is another reason why I prefer Unity. The networking stack that I'd like to use for it is open source, but it's made with Unity in mind specifically. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we use that. It probably won't be too difficult to accomplish that, but I'm not sure how we'll do it exactly, but that'll be something down the line. But as well, what I'm thinking is eventually we could also get the AI that's in your game, the survivor AI, a chance of when they meet, they might want to team up. Like, they might do that. I don't know. We might not do that. That might be something that ends up like kind of borking a lot of stuff. But who knows? We can always try. Then later you can grow your own village of survivors, maybe. Well, the thing is I'm trying to make this, it's like kind of a solo experience. Like, you want to try and survive as much as you can on your own. Maybe we'll implement that where like AI will join you and like you have a chance of, like, you know, if you pin them down, like you can, I don't know, like we can implement some kind of voice chat system where if you talk to it for long enough, there's a chance that it might just decide to join you. Who knows? Ouch. I'm sorry to hear that, Low Spec. That sucks. Or Jeff. I don't know why I just decided to call you by, I mean, I know your name. I could just call you by it. Not be crazy. Let's get this set up. I'm sorry, I am getting distracted. This inventory system might take us a while because I do enjoy talking about the ideas for the game. But we kind of do need to get it done, only because, or this basic inventory system kind of laid out and done, only because I have my aunt and her new boyfriend is coming over here soon to play board games with us, and I have about another couple of hours before I'm gonna have to go eat. Yeah, I will definitely use help with that. I can definitely use help with that.
Now in here, let's first get rid of mono
100%.
behavior, since this will be a simple class.
Okay, no mono behavior. I got you, dog. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Now in here we're going to have a very simple list of items. So that means we need to define our item type. So here back in the editor, let's create another
Buddy,
script.
chill.
This will be our item. And again, get rid of mono behavior. Okay, in here, very simple. We just
Okay. Buddy, shush. Oh my god. Sorry about that. Okay. But he sees my poor neighbors walking their dog, and he has let them know. Hey, it's my house. My house. All right, let's create another C# script, and this one's going to be called item. And inside of our item script, now he's just trying to get up close to me. He's like, you know, I know I messed up. Okay. It's okay, buddy. It's fine. It's fine. But he's going back to the window, man. It's going to happen again. Yep, there he goes. There he goes. There he goes. All right. Okay, so we got our item class made. Windows 11 and VS Code. It's a sad day indeed. Well, I mean, well, yeah.
just define a public enum of our item type. Here, let's put some items.
Alright. Okay, so we do want a public enum in here for our item type. And we will want clock 19. Let's see. We want our M4 SE. We also need to make more items as well. I always forget that. That is something that we need to do. Well, oh my God. Okay, I think he's done barking. But to address the using Windows and thing, because everyone has to say it. Yes, I am using Windows, and it's working just fine.
And then in
Yeah, so we will definitely want some different models and pictures for different stuff. So I think kind of what we need to do is first things first. Should we go ahead and get modeled for everything that we need? Yeah. Let's go ahead and we'll just open up a new Blender window because we'll need that one for later. Delete that out of there. Shift A, and we want to add a cylinder in here. And we probably want to make it like real small, like one, because the scale value is always a little bit weird in Unity. Okay. And then we're going to go onto the modifiers here, or Just going to edit, add a modifier. We want to add a decimate modifier. I mean, I thought we wanted to add a decimate. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, decimate it like not that much. And then let's tab over into edit mode. Just fix the closing at the end and no semicolon at the end. What do you mean? What are you talking about? What? What are you talking about? Just fix the closing at the end of the enum. There's... What do you mean? There's nothing wrong with it. Oh, well, yes. I mean, yes, that is there. But, yeah, I mean, we're not done with it yet. Because I think we're going to go ahead and add... We're going to go ahead and model and add the bandages. Yeah, I thought this was legit open source stuff because I saw Blender and then I saw Unity and thought, oh no. Well, the scripts are all open source, dog. All the models you can go download. Yeah, the engine is not open source, but I don't think you need the engine code to be open source. Let's take that up there and scale it down. And probably not that much. And this. Oh no. Oh no. What have I done? I shift clicked. Come on now. Okay, cool. Let's E down just a little bit. Scale. Dupe. GNZ. Well, actually, no, let's take it up to like match the bottom there. Yeah. We're gonna take this up here. And GNZ. Take it up. Oh, yeah. And everyone has to use Windows to develop this game? No, you don't. Unity does work on Linux. Unity works just fine. I've used it before. It does throw out random weird errors at some points, but it does that on Windows too. That's just new. I'm not saying that Windows is not a black box. Windows is definitely spying on you. I don't remember ever saying that that's not true. Actually, quite the opposite. I'm just fine with using it right now because I was having too many issues on Linux with this new hardware. That's it. I'm here out of convenience. You don't have to be. It's fine. It's okay. Windows calculator is awful to use. I don't know. It works fine. I mean, it's just another calculator. I mean, all calculators are pretty much the same. They're all half decent. Okay. Let me go back over into tab mode. Okay. We got ourselves a little bandy. I think it needs to be a little bit taller though. B and C. I think it just needs to come up like right about there. Yeah. I think that's good. I think that's mighty fine. All right. Cool. And so now let's just go ahead and go. I mean, should we add more color to it or anything? Yeah. I mean, again, it's one of those things where like look, I know the engine is not open source. I know it. That's not the point of the project. The point of the project is if you're trying to make a game that's going to be using systems similar to this, the code that I'm writing, all of the time that I'm spending making my project here can benefit you, and you can use it without attribution, without anything. All of these models, you can take them and use them in your projects, whether it be in Godot, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, that's the point of it. That not that you have to be using the same engine that I'm using, or that you have to like work on, like, if you want to do something with the game, if you like the game's idea, if you like the project's idea, but you hate everything about the way that I'm doing it, make it in Godot. That's fine. That's fine. But should we add color to this? I don't know, like here, because I think what we could do is like, I mean, we could like paint it, but I can't make up my mind on what I want to do. Darn it. You know what? Let's just go ahead and let's just do it. Let's go in here. Let's hold on. Let's just create a new material. Let's call this bandage. Russell Willis, how's it going? How's it going? I am confuzzled. Should I create a whole new material? No. I should. And you know what? No. Yes, I should. Bandage. And let's see. Down in shading. Yeah, we're going to take our oh, it's not space. I always forget what it is. It's not that. Shift A, that's what it is. Search, and let's grab texture. It's the same thing. I always think it's something different. We want an image texture here. We're gonna take the color into base color. We're gonna go in here. Okay, let's go into UV editing. Go here. Open documents. OpenDead assets. Where is it? Masterful color palette. There we go. All right, so shading, let's click masterful color palette there, take that into our base color, and then in our UV editing, we will go down here and, okay, select all, go to U and Smart UV Project, click OK, and select all of them, scale that baby down, and take it G and X over here to this like bright blue. Take it into the shaded. Okay. And Let's see. What should I do? How should I do this? Oi. Like we could add more geometry to it to paint it. You've had a lot of patience. How so? How so? You just mean keeping with it? Boop. Oh, wait, hold on. No, let's not do that. Let's do Control R, take it up. Let's do that there. And then we're gonna do Control R again. Do that there. All right. And then go through here. Select all of these. Go into face select. So we've got all of them there selected. Now let's go G and X. Let's take it over here, even though that's not where we're gonna stay. Because we want a GX. We want a color about that blue right there. All right. And then we take this. Let's do this face, this face, this face, this face, and this face right here. And G and X. And we're going to take that over to somewhere like here. I mean, go into layout, to object mode, go into shaded, and we get nothing. What the shit? Hello? Why? Huh? Why do we see it in edit mode but not object mode? Heh. I'm so confuzzled. I would have given up as soon as I opened up the modifier interface or modeler interface. Yeah. Yeah. 3D modeling has definitely been the most difficult part. All right. Definitely has. If you can't tell, like, why does this not show up in all my other models? It shows up once we go over here. Like, what? Huh? What? How? I'm so confuzzled. It should, hold on. Quick render it to see if it's there. Well, I mean, it won't be there because it's not in object mode. Like, it should show up in object mode. I now know why I subbed to you. I saw your Fedora video. Thanks. Still using it. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, I really like Fedora. I really do. I mean, one of these days I'll go back to Linux, but it can't be when I'm focused on doing all of this right now, because spending an hour or two reinstalling or re-downloading all of my games or whatever, it's too much of a hassle for me right now. And so I'm fine with Windows invading my butthole and knowing everything about me, just for right now. I totally understand that some people find that egregious, but oh, it doesn't? They should, because hold on. Look, if I go into Blender mode, if I open up a new Blender window with let's just open up the Glock 19 blend here. See, in object mode, we get the texture, and inside of shading, the only difference is that we have a normal map down here. When did I get a normal map put on this? No idea. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's why it's not working. Just don't have a normal map. Normal map. Even though I doubt it. But hey, let's go into UV editing. We tab over. Yeah, it's still not there. Yeah, it's weird. Like, this is very weird. It should be showing up. Like, so this is the same. Hold on. Let's go into object mode and make sure that it's using the same material that it's using in edit mode. I don't. No, it's using bandage. Yeah. It's not like anything crazy is going on there. What? I'm so confused. Huh. Blender material not showing in object mode. In solid view by default. Hold on, so yeah, I don't think that's it. Yeah, and also the picture. This is a Stack Exchange for a long time. This is very weird. Oh, bye, Russell. Have a good one. I use Linux since I'm 8 and had no other choice now. Yeah, I mean it's great. I don't. What do you mean you didn't have any other choice? Like you could only use Linux? How so? I'm just wondering like if it's an ethical choice or if like you literally couldn't use it. Like because I know there are some places where like the school systems like use something that's not Windows. And it just I know that's really rare. Like it's really rare. I find that super interesting. Like when you're pretty much completely opposite the rest of the world, where like your school mandates that you use something that's like actually cares about you. Like that's pretty sick. Why are you not showing up? I do not understand this. Hold on. So let's go ahead and just let's export it out. Let's export out this FBX. I mean, it's not going to have color, but let's just bandage, or ooh, call it bandage. Going to OpenDead assets, and we want the X as forward and the Z as up. And even though we don't need to deselect these, I'm going to do it anyway. I like to do it. Okay. Don't save that. So now I go into Unity, go into the console, go into models, go in here, click create folder, and go to, let's just call this pickupable objects. That's even a word, who knows? And now let's go into our assets. OpenDead assets. And let's go down in here. It's a bandy. Where did I export it to? Come on, Doc, you should be in here. Bandage? What? Oh, there it is. I'm just blind. Yep. Nothing. The material, bandage. Oh, I forgot. Hold on. Control Z. Let's go in here. Click bandage. Go to its scale factor and just take it up like 15 times. I know that's too big, but I just wanted to make it big so we could see it. Nothing. Why do you not? What? How? Huh? What? All right, let's get rid of this. Delete that. Yes. And in here, we'll also create a subfolder, and we'll call this, okay, don't create a subfolder. That's fine. Folder. Heals. And okay, let's go in here, go into our, back into our models. Let's try doing this. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to import in our OpenDead assets, our Glock 19 anim. We're going to import that in. And then what we're going to do is X delete. Just delete the object. But now when I click on cylinder, we should have the option of player material 1. Okay, so now we tab, click in here, we tab over. See it. What? I am so confused. Okay, let's just don't save it. Just don't save it, okay? Just don't. Let's go into Blender. File, open, Glock 19 blend. This is before we put the anim shit on it. Okay? So, let's take all of these. Let's just make it to where we can't. Oh, come on. I want you to apply all that for your children as well. Okay, so none of y'all are visible. All right. And now we're going to do a Shift A, add a cylinder mesh. And so inside of the cylinder, we're going to add a decimate modifier and decimate it quite a bit down. And let's take its scale and do 0.01, 0.01, 0.01, and take it up 0.01 and 0. Cursor to world origin. Perfect. And now let's tab over. Let's go grab computer's too old. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. Windows does not like older. Windows, any Windows does not like older computers. It's just the fact of life. which is good. It means Windows doesn't dominate the older market as well. Like, okay, and we got that. Scale, take it in. Probably take it in just a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay. And then let's see. Let's go to material and click player mat. There we go. There we go. Okay. That's what I like to hear or to see. I don't know what I'm saying. Then we go to UV editing. Okay. Turn it on where we can see through it all. And I go to Control R. And put that there. Then Control R. And put that there. All right. So now we go and shift select all of that up there and all of this down here. And we go to base select mode. All right. And, oh, well, hold on. Shift. We'll select everything. Go to Smart UV Project, click OK, and take all of it, scale it down, and then G and X over. We'll do something like that right there. Yeah, I like it. And then grab all of that through there and go to G, or not scale, G and X, and take it all the way over there. Also it's the OS I started with back because of my Debianized father. Debian's really nice. Like, I used to really not like it because it never liked me. Debian never treated me well. But as of recently, it's really nice. It's too out of date for my hardware. Like, I mean, that's a nice problem to have. Don't get me wrong. To have new enough hardware where it's a problem that it's too new, but still, besides, I'm not Debian's target audience anyway. I care much more about software availability than I do stability in most cases. So, okay. Oh my Christ. In object mode, it disappears. Assign. Why? I don't get it. Is it because of the decimate modifier? That's it. It was the decimate modifier. Oh, yo. Okay. Okay. So if we go to decimate and we added in object mode, then it starts working right. But I don't know that we want it decimated. All right, let's decimate it down. That looks nice. I like that. Let's go to apply and then we tab over. Okay. Let's see if instead of Okay, no. No, no, we're not going to do that. What we are going to do, oh, tab over. Oh, I'm pressing Shift R, you dummy. Control R, there we go. Alt. Can I not? Is there not a way to loop cut all around here? No. How are we gonna do this? I guess we probably should do texture painting. So your curtains are Windows is very strange to me. Yeah. Okay. So why are you not drawing on a texture like masterful color palette? Oh. Oh, so that's to paint on the texture, not actually the model. I got you. I got you. But then again, click A. Yeah, so like, why? How do we do this? Text draw. Okay. The blend mix. Oh, I get you. Okay. So I got you. I got you. Okay. Okay. I get what we're gonna do. So go into UV editing. Let's turn on see-through select. We're gonna grab all of those faces there in the middle. Go down here and click scale. And scale them up. G and Y, move it about like there, scale it up just a bit more. Let's go over. G and X, let's take it over here. And then go over to texture paint, scroll in, and let's see, the radius, I get like 20, we do like 3 pixels wide. That's still pretty wide. Now let's take the color and make it more bluish. Okay, now we paint straight through there. Nope. That's not what we want. Okay. See, why can we not, like, so if I take red, why can't we just draw the texture here? Like, that's what I would, like, why can't we do that? Nope, that takes us into edit mode. Like, shouldn't we be able to paint on here, dog? Come on now. All right, you know what? Hold on, tab over. Let's go to Control R. There. And then do Control R. There. All right. So now tab over and go into UV editing. Go over here and turn that off. Go into face select mode. We grab all 4 of these bad boys right here. We zoom out, G and X, and boom, we have it. That is what it's about, boys. That is what it's about. It only took me a ridiculously long amount of time to do it. Lamau. All right, we have our bandage made, and it doesn't look too terrible. Definitely could look better, but that's besides the point. Okay, well, it was good talking to you, man. I hope you have a great night. Take it easy, enjoy it, and hopefully I'll see you around the channel at some point. Yeah, I mean, we kind of did. I just had to do a little bit of some loop cuts here to be able to grab these faces, and yeah, we all good. We were all good. So just for future reference, if we want it to show up, we have to apply the modifier in object mode, not in edit mode. And then when we're done editing it, it'll show up in the final result. All right, so now we can go down here, take all of these and delete them. Take all of this, delete you. So we just have our cylinder. We're going to rename it bandage. Oh God. Okay, so I have caps lock on. That's good to know. Bandage. And perfect. So now we export this FBX out, and we want to do this as we'll do, hold on, close. Let's rotate this around the Z-axis, rotate it to be more forward. See, and probably that's perfect right there. Okay, so now file, export, FBX, and we want to do just the selected object, just the mesh. We want to do the forward as the Y-axis. Wait, negative Y. Glad I caught that. I mean, it really doesn't matter, but negative Y. Bake animation, no. And add leaf bones again. We don't need to check that, but we're still going to do it anyway. All right. So we've got our bandage made. Cool. So now we go in here, we import our bandage, go in here, set its scale factor like 10, apply, and now we can drag in our bandage, and oh no, I don't think I changed the name on it when I exported it. Uh-oh, rut-row. Delete. Rut-row. File, we can't ever do that again. Export. FBX. Yeah, we overwrote the last one, which is fine because that's not the actual one that we're using. But bandage, export FBX, and we go in here to our OpenDead assets, and let's go down to the Glock 19 FBX and just delete it because we should have our Glock 19 anim, and that's the actual one that we're using. Anyway, okay, so now in our heals, we drag our bandage FBX back in, drag it in, Hey. Okay. Perfect. Why is our clipping so high? Oh. Hello? When did you get changed? 01. Man, good lord, your speed is so high. What? Like the rest of the color didn't come in with it. Delete. Okay. Um, how do I undo the texture drawing that I've done? Or actually, you know what? Hold on. Go over to UV editing here. There we go. Okay. Player matte. Go to shading, player matte. It's using this one. Cool. And go into texture paint. Cool. And UV editing. Go turn on see-through mode. Go select all of these faces here. We just want to get everything in the middle. All right. And then go to G and X and take it over here. Perfect. Then export this FBX as the bandage. Go to minimize. Console clear. Let's go into my bandage, drag that in. Perfect. Delete. But it is working perfectly fine now. Okay. I mean, it's a wee bit tiny, which is fine because we kind of need to up its scale factor to 10. Apply, and we now drag it in. I think that's a little big, you know, just a little bit. Let's take its scale size down to 5. Click apply. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Yeah. Perfect. Oh, okay. No problem, no problem. Let me know, Chris, when you're back. Oh, oh, Okay, so we've got our 3D model put in here, ready to go. Perfection. Perfection. So we want some heels. Let's go into the video here. Like, I thought this was going to be us making the inventory or coding it out, but it's turned out to just be like, hey, let's make the models that we're going to need for all of these items and their respective pictures. So yeah, we're going to need, so we've got our bandage, which is the first thing we're going to need. We'll obviously build on this later, but we're going to need the bandage. We've got both of our guns that we're going to need to pick up. I think that's, I'm trying to think for like right away, like something that we need right now. Technically speaking, I could go ahead and work on let's just, we've got enough for right now. Let's see. I am big stupido. What do I need to do? First thing, let's click save as here, and we want to save this as bandage.blend. Save as, and click close. Don't save. All right, now inside of here, let's pop into VS Code. We've got our GL19, and let's also add our bandage. All right.
The item class itself, we simply have a item type field.
Excuse me.
And also a int for the amount.
Okay. So, and other than that, we have our public item type. Item type. So for every item we get, we have what it is, and then we need an int for for the amount that we have. Control S. TFL, how's it going? How's it going, brother? And by the way, just so everyone's not rushing off to go see like the last video that I put out on the project, you don't have to see the last video that I put out yesterday to watch the stream. You can always go watch it afterwards. But yeah, we're working on the inventory, and hopefully, TFL, you're having a good day. Mighty fine day.
All right, here's our very simple item class. Now we can go back into the...
Okay, so we have our item class as well finished with our couple of weapons that we already have. So, you know, whether or not you have them in your inventory or not. We also have a bandage we can apply and do stuff with later. As you should be. As you should be. There's nothing better to do for a day than watching some good DS9. Let's be honest.
Inventory. And in here we make a list of items.
Okay. So inside of our inventory here, we are just going to have a private list. And this is going to be of item. And it's going to be our item list.
And on the constructor, we simply initialize the list. Okay, that should do it. Let's do a debug.log.
All right. So then on our inventory class here, item list equals new item list, or excuse me, list, and this is going to be of type item. All right. We need to chat about DS9 at some point. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Just for testing, just like that. Okay. Now let's see how we're going to test this. Let's go into the player class. Okay, here it is. The rest of the code is irrelevant for our case here. All we care about is the inventory. So over here on the awake, let's simply instantiate our inventory. So up here, define a field.
Okay, so on our player, which I don't believe we actually just have a player script. And also, that's not even where we should put it. It should probably be in the game manager. So we have we'll do a header and give it inventory management. And down in here, we will need a public. Let's make it public. I mean, I don't know that it needs to be public, but it's the game manager, so it doesn't. It kind of should be exposed. Inventory. Back off, bitch. Don't want to capitalize it. Thank you. Inventory, and down here.
And here we simply do new inventory. All right.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I've been putting a lot of time into it. There have been a lot of sleepless nights. Okay, so I'm trying to think about this before we get started. I mean, yeah, no, because we're only going to need one. So, private inventory, call it inventory, because the game manager, yeah. So since it is a single player, you're only going to have one instance of the game manager. So inventory is equal to a new. Oh wait, hold on. He's doing that on the awake function, and you know what? It's probably a good idea to just go ahead and do it on the awake function. Private void awake. I mean, it really doesn't matter if we did it on start or awake, but hey, just for the sake of not causing issues, because I'll cause issues myself plenty.
Let's test. And there it is. We have the inventory.
Can just call it. And oh, let's do it. Let's go back a little bit. He did a debug.log in the inventory, items. As far as I know.
Okay, right? Here it is. The rest. Now let's see how.
Yeah. When it's called, he actually put a debug.log in there.
Item. Inside, we create the new item. All right, let's test. And there.
Okay, so Control. Oh no, I keep doing that. Control S over here. Let's go into our inventory and we'll do the same thing. We're going to do a debug.log and go your hits are on fire. All right, let's see. Is our inventory working? We click play. Oh, no, we have an error. Oh, yeah, because I forgot to add That right there. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh my God, we have another error. An item. Oh. How did I delete that? How did I delete the ending bracket there and not notice it? Smooth move, man. Yeah, no. Yeah, sorry, this is not going to be made with Godot. It's not that I hate Godot or something. It's just more familiar with Unity. That's really it. Yeah. Now, if obviously all of the scripts and everything, they are up on my GitLab. So if you go to my GitLab, you can find them there. The type item already contains a definition for item type. Wait, what am I doing wrong here in item?
Public enum of our item type. Here, let's put some items. And then in the item class itself, we simply have a item type field and also a int for the amount. All right, here's our
yeah, that's what I've got. Public enum item type. Yeah. Whoops. Item type. There we go. Control S. Minimize, that might be our problem right there. Yeah, that was our problem. Yep. Okay, so just in case you didn't know that I've been using Windows for the past little bit, and by little bit I mean probably at this point, Jesus, it's like before the end of the year I was using Windows. I got new hardware for Christmas. Well, and before that I was using my Dell laptop. It's an all AMD laptop with a discrete GPU and an AMD APU, so it has like built-in AMD graphics in the GPU. Hold on, while we're talking here, why don't I just switch over and we're not directly working on the game. Switch back over. Okay, so I have my all AMD laptop. It's down there now, but it doesn't like Linux because it has to switch between the APU and this discrete card, and that caused a lot of issues on Linux, even with later kernels. So I started running Windows 10 on that because then I could actually, like get the stuff done and play games reliably, because I do like playing games. And then I got this new hardware here, and this is inside of my sleeper build here, I have a RX 6600 XT, a Ryzen 5700G, and 32 gigs of RAM, which that doesn't really matter, but anyway, with this hardware here, Fedora is pretty much the only Linux distro that is like rock solid, just works. If I use like pretty much anything else, there's just weird issues. Like Ubuntu, there's this weird thing where there's a pink hue across all my screens. Cannot fix it. Do not know why. If I want to go and use DWM, like I love using DWM, Xorg has major issues. Like I have to manually configure Xorg like myself to get my 165 hertz monitor actually running at 165 hertz. And I know someone out there is going to be like, well, you don't need 165 hertz. You're right, I don't need it, but I've got it. And now that I've experienced 165 hertz, I'm not running it at 60. Like there's a major difference, and it is a really nice one. I should be able to use it. there's a lot of those kinds of issues on Linux that right now I'm more interested in just working on my game, and Linux is not conducive to that right now. I have to spend hours fixing stuff and getting the OS tailored to where it actually is functional for me. And every time I've tried to do it, I get about 30 to 45 minutes in. I realize that I've got about another hour of configuring at least before I'm back to square one where I'm in Windows, and I get pissed off and I install Windows and I'm done with all of my like apps installed, ready to go in like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, maybe at most. Also, for me to switch over to use Linux, because my hard drive is formatted as exFAT, apparently, no matter what, I'm going to have to reformat the entire drive and re-download all of my like 600 gigabytes worth of games. Like, that is a major hassle, and I will have to be ready for it. Time to get WLS then, or WSL then. I mean, again, I'm not interested in fiddling around with it. Like, I understand that this channel for a long time has just been dedicated to talking about Linux and open source by proxy of Linux. That's because that's what I was really interested in. Now I'm really interested in making a game. That's really what I'm interested in. And Linux is not being conducive to that right now. That's it. That's the only reason why I'm not there. And I mean, some people will be like, you should make this game in Godot. You can make it in Godot, man. I'm making all of the models, all of the textures, all of the scripts, everything open source. So if you want to convert C# to GD script or keep it as C#, because I believe you can't use C# in Godot. I don't know how well it works, but I think you can. I mean, you're more than welcome to. Everything's open source. You can do whatever you want. I just want to make an open source game that helps other people make games later on, so that all the time that I spend on this project, it's not only fun for someone else to play it when it's in a more complete state, but it also helps someone else interested in this kind of stuff too. You know, since when did you start making this game? About 3 weeks ago, maybe. I mean, I think the project file was created about 3 weeks ago. Before that, I was making a endless runner game in Unreal, but I mean, for one, it wasn't the type of game that I would play like myself a lot. Like, I mean, I would definitely play it casually occasionally, but it wasn't a game that like I had passion about. It was just something that I could definitely do. And because I wanted to refresh my skills in Unreal, because there's a potentiality that I might be able to get a game dev position using Unreal at a studio, like hopefully here in the next year. And so if that happens, I wanted to make sure that like I didn't just have the knowledge, like it was actually like, you know, I could use it practically. Like it wasn't like I knew what I'm doing in Unreal, but it's been 2 years since I've touched Unreal, so I can't really do all that much. I just wanted to make sure that, you know, in the event that I get an interview, I'm kind of not stupid in the interview, you know. Wait till you see little tuxes in Windows File Manager form WSL drives. I mean, I would mess around with WSL. I don't know. I'm just not interested in it. Yeah, game dev is something I've always been interested in, but I always get sidetracked, like, and get interested in other things as well. That's why I've tried to pick a game here that I actually would play. Like, it's like survival games are like my jam. Like, I'll spend like Dead Side and DayZ. Like, if they weren't so hard, like such a hardcore experience, dog, I could play like days in there. Like I could live in those games. So this is the kind of game that not only I think is cool to make, but it's a real type of game that I would spend hours in, and it's hard for me to get sleep. I enjoy working on the game so much. That's like legitimately a problem. Like I have to force every morning at about 4 o'clock in the morning, I have to force myself to get away from the computer and go to sleep. Like I genuinely enjoy making this game so much. And that is really why I'm not on Linux right now. It is not because Linux is a poor experience. It's just Linux is the type of OS for desktop use. You need to customize it. Like you have to make it yours if you're going to enjoy your Linux experience. Because if you don't make it yours, if you're coming from Windows or Mac, like you're losing a lot of features out of the gate. So you have to make it yours for it to, like, you know, be what I would call a premium experience. And that takes a little bit of time, like not a lot, but you know, a couple hours of your time, and then you don't have to do it again. Every time I go to do that, I just 30 minutes in, I'm craving wanting to work on the game. That's all I want to do. I'm legitimately addicted to it. And so I'm like, do I spend another hour or two getting Linux ready so that I can work on the game? Or in 25 minutes, do I just go back to Windows and be right where I am and I can start work again? And every time I do it, I just end up switching back. Like me and Matt tried switching over to Manjaro. Manjaro was giving me a whole bunch of issues with my Steam drive. I was going to have to download all my games again. I was like, I could spend all my night doing this, or I could just switch back over to Windows and have everything be there. That's how they get you. That's how they get you. It's convenience. That's it. Like, I hate it, but it's the way it is. It's too convenient to use Windows. It's too convenient to have them spy on you. Okay. Yes, and that's what I like about this type of game. Like the game that I'm making here, I don't want to make super complex systems. There's not an over complexity when it comes to systems. You're just going to be managing your health and your stamina. That's pretty much it. Excuse me, not stamina. There is no stamina. Food and water. I'm sorry. I meant to say there is no stamina system, because let's be honest, in almost every single game that's ever existed, survival game wise, stamina systems always suck ass. They just always do. And I'm not going to try and be the first one to make a good stamina system. That's not going to happen. Yes. And yes, that is exactly the case. And typically I am very, very much more oriented towards sacrificing convenience for privacy. However, in the current mindset that I'm in now, I don't care. If Microsoft spies on me figuring out everything that I do while I work on the game, I'm okay with it. If Microsoft steals all of the code that I type and work on in Unity, that's completely fine to me, because I'm giving it away for free. For a lot of reasons, I just don't care about my privacy right now while I'm working on the game. I will definitely change my mind here soon. I know it's a fact. And also, surprisingly enough, I have to be objective here. One of the reasons I haven't went away from Windows is typically Windows is a dog shit experience. However, Windows 11 has been treating me really nice. It's working really well, which, again, I don't like it. I'm saying my experience. It's the truth. It's treated me really well. I think Windows 11 is the most egregious, how do I say this? Egregious scam ever, trying to get everyone to upgrade their computers to TPM so Microsoft can make more money off of Windows licenses. I fucking hate Microsoft. I hate their business practices. Nevertheless, here using Windows right now. It's just the way it is. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Let's be honest. here in a couple months, or it may not even be that long. It may even be just a few more days. It might be a week. I have no idea when I'll go back to Linux. But when I do, I might have to ask you guys to buy back my soul from Microsoft for me. You know, might be a thing. Might be a thing. Who knows? Oh. And by the way, just so everyone knows, when I do go back over to Linux, I'm still going to be using VS Code, but I'm just going to be using VS Codium. But I don't know, when I'm using Windows, I didn't think it was probably like really worth my time to try installing VS Codium instead of VS Code on Windows. Like, I mean, people have, I've been doing more research, and apparently online people have said that the thing that people call the Windows keylogger, it's kind of an overreach to call it an actual keylogger, but still, nevertheless, it's a little debatable. And because we can't really see exactly what it's doing, I'm just going to assume it's full-blown keylogger. So, you know, if Windows has a keylogger on it, there's probably no reason for me to remove the telemetry from VS Code itself, because Microsoft's still getting it, you know. Yeah, VS Code, I really like VS Code. VS Codium is the same thing, just with the Microsoft like telemetry removed, which is why I like it. But I mean, on Windows itself, it kind of seems like a stupid waste of time to download one instead of the other, because at the end of the day, like, I mean, Windows is still spying on me, so it doesn't really matter. Like, does it really matter? Excuse me. Sorry about that. Let me drink a little bit of coffee. So does anyone, before we go back into a little bit more game, wait, hold on. Let me check and make sure. Oh, it's probably about time for me to go eat. So we didn't really get that much work done. Actually, we got no work done on the inventory. We spent a lot of time talking, but that's fine. That's kind of what I expected. I figured that we would go off on tangents quite a bit. So before we wrap up and end the stream, does anyone have any questions about the game, like further at all? And just in case anyone didn't get to see it, I will go ahead and switch over to my desktop, and I will actually play the game, just in case you didn't get to see it. So here's the game as it stands so far. You know, we got some water around here. Now we also have trees and grass that have been made and could be added here pretty easily, but I just removed them all just because they're going to get massively redone because they're big dog poo-poo. Like if I run over here, you can see I left one blade of grass. One blade of grass over here. And so it's over here just blowing in the wind. And you can see I need to edit the alphas on here, which makes it wave because it's a little too high. It waves a little bit too far. I mean, you guys might disagree with that, but in my opinion, I think it waves a little too far. Just a tad bit too far. But yeah, so we actually do have that stuff, but we can fire. I mean, we do have recoil as well, and we can reload. We can switch our weapons, and we also have like weapon sway. So like when we're like idling here, the gun's not just static on your screen. It is like there is a little bit of a breathing effect. And we can press B and switch our fire mode. And we can hold it. Got reloading there as well. We've got running, you know, crouching, jumping. And here before too long, we'll also add like leaning. So you can get behind the wall here, lean over. Now we also have ADS, just in case I don't think I showed that off. And just so, before anyone says anything in chat, yes, the M4's muzzle flash looks terrible. I know. Don't worry. It'll get reworked, just same as the pistols, because the pistol doesn't look terrible, but it could definitely use a little bit more work. I'm having to dabble in a lot of things that I've never done before, and I'm surprised most things are coming out looking half decent. Will it have some sort of a single player mode? The game is primarily single player. Down the line, we will add a multiplayer in the kind of aspect of not like you're playing on the same map with them where you can shoot them, but let's say me and you were talking in Discord, and you need some stuff in, like, because let's just say the survivors in your game are like 2 of them or whatever are trying to raid your base at the same time, and you could use some shit to go back and retake your base because you died or something. I could, in my game, go to a trader and send a cargo drop to, like, essentially we could connect to the same, to like a server or something like that, and I could ship you a cargo drop and you accept it and it'll drop somewhere in on your map, and like I can put items from my game in there, they'll come down in the cargo drop in your game and you can grab them like that. So that's kind of my idea for multiplayer down the line, because I want it to be a single player experience, but that you can like kind of play with other people. Like, you know, if you're sitting in Discord talking with your friends or anything like that, your friends can message you and be like, hey man, I could really use like X, Y, and Z. Any chance you got them? And you could share stuff like that. I think that's kind of a really good in between of single player and a multiplayer experience. And it also cuts down on a lot of the hassle and complexity of implementing multiplayer in a game. Yeah, I agree. The waving, well, that poor blade. Oh yeah. Yeah, I agree. The waving is a bit aggressive. Yeah. Yes, the gun sound effect. I downloaded all of the sound effects from a library, and I believe half of them are for a inside environment and the other half are for an outside environment. So I need to actually remove half of the gun sound effects that I have in the array for the M4, because if we click here, you'll see we have our audio fire clips, and we've got 8. I believe 4 of these are the ones that we need to use. The other 4 we need to get rid of. But the reload sound effect for the M4 also hasn't been done yet. But I really want to get the actual like systems themselves mostly developed before we go back and iron out and, you know, improve a lot on the actual items themselves and firing and all of that stuff. So yeah. Well, I'm trying to think if there's any other questions that you have, ask them, because I very much enjoy answering them. Also, just so I can show it off, we do have a logo for the game done. Let's go. Let's see. I believe it's down in here. I think I just threw it in the assets folder. So it would be OpenDead. I saw it. OpenDead logo. There it is. So here's the logo. Ooh, let's just get one of these. Here's the OpenDead logo. That is the logo for OpenDead. Hopefully, you guys think it looks nice. Just put OpenDead, gave it a little bit of a drop shadow, and covered it in blood. Just splattered it in blood. So I think that looks pretty dope. Thank you, man. Yeah, I like it too. I think it's pretty nice. I think it's pretty freaking nice. So that's what we've got so far. We probably, what I'm going to do is I might stream it later on, but maybe not. It depends. So before we go ahead and end it off here, I do just want to go ahead and let all of you guys know I will be streaming every single day from now on this game's development. I most likely will only be posting a video monthly from this point on. I will post one video a month, which will be like a dev vlog of everything that we've gotten done game wise. And yeah, that's kind of going to be it. I don't think I'm going to be posting a lot more videos than that at all, because this is kind of my main focus. I want to get this done, mainly because I want to play it. Again, this is not being sold or anything. It will be completely open source and free. So, won't you need to concentrate? Yes, but I can always stream for a few hours a day, talk about the game, get a little bit of work done, and then later on in the day do more. Because I don't have a job right now. So, yeah, I have all my time to work on this. So if you want to support the game's development, you always hit that Patreon link down there. You know, I'll just go ahead and shill for myself before the stream ends. Why not? Why not? You know, I can. It don't hurt. I should. I mean, it's not like I can't use it. I can use all of the financial support possible because I'm spending ridiculous amounts of time on this game, and hopefully everybody will enjoy it. Hopefully it comes out as an end product that everyone likes, and it's completely available for free. I'm mainly just using this project as a kind of portfolio patter, I guess, of like what I'm capable of with game dev. So thank you, man. Thank you. I am trying to work real hard. Really trying to come out with something that people actually enjoy. People want to play, because I want to play it. Like, I mean, as much as I kind of care what other people like think about it, like I kind of want other people to care about it, but mostly it's for me. Like, well, this is a game for me, you know. It's meant to be awesome and something that I enjoy playing. If you enjoy playing it, that means you're into the same kind of game that I'm into. So that's really it. Yes, you should, brother. I think we all should chill. You know, if you're putting a lot of time into your channel and into what you're doing, yeah, you should definitely chill for yourself. I mean, actually, well, let's be honest. You should be the one chilling for you. No one else is going to do it for you. So why not? You know, be a chill for yourself. You need to be. Ain't no one else going to do it for you. So I think I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I should have family here soon, and I bet you there's a big plate of food out there waiting on me, and I have not eaten anything today, and it is almost like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, regardless of what my time on Windows would say. I'm excited to see how it turns out. I'm going to go ahead and read this out because I'm going to address that statement. I'm excited to see how it turns out. I just hope you don't randomly drop kick it. You make a good and valid point, because I do have a tendency of dropping projects after a while, of getting uninterested in them. And let me just go ahead and address that. I will go ahead and tell you that I'm not dropping this project because I hope you understand, I'm not good at 3D modeling. I put the time in to model these let me switch my screen. These guns here, I don't know if you can understand how long it took to model these guns, because I'm shit at it. It took so long. This is completely new to me. Making muzzle flash shit, I've never worked with Unity's particle system like this before, because I've always hated it, like barely used it if I had to, because I've never really understood it. Now I have learned so much. I've learned how to use this. I've started writing my own shader code. I am taking a multiple part course in shaders done by Freya, who is a like industry like industry genius when it comes to shaders. She started her own studio, the studio that made Budget Cuts VR, the really good VR game. If you've never seen it, it's a great VR game. And Budget Cuts 2, which is one of my favorite VR games. But yeah, I've started watching that. So I have tackled a lot of things that I've never done before that normally would scare me away and tell me to stop doing something or back away from the project. I'm here's the thing. This is the first project where I didn't reduce the scope to a point where it was a game that I could definitely finish, but that I didn't actually want to spend my entire time playing. So that's a big difference. This is the first game where it is something I'm keeping the scope down to something that I can complete, but I'm not taking the scope down to a point where I wouldn't actually want to play the game all the time. I feel like that has made a big difference in developing this game, because normally by this point in development, I would have been like, that's too difficult, I'm not touching that, or that's too difficult, not doing that. Almost every difficult thing that I've come across, I'm like, well, it's the whole point of this is to learn. Like, this isn't the whole point of this project is not to have a final product that I can sell. It's to learn and end up with a game that is fun to play and talk like with my friends about and share with you guys. That's it. No, it wasn't blunt at all. No, that's a valid point. Oh, thankfully I only dropped like a drop of coffee. Exactly. Yes, it will be up for testing. I do want to go ahead and say, just because I know this will ruffle some people's feathers. Look, the super early testing, and I'm talking the super, like maybe the first or two, first, maybe second run of testing will be done on Patreon only. That does not mean that if you're not supporting me on Patreon, you won't be able to test the game, but because you will be eventually, but the first couple of ones will only go out to Patrons. That way it's just a smaller group of people testing it. Only because most of the testing, like I'm pretty good at profiling. So and we're also not doing a ton, like we're not doing a lot of complex things that are kind of out of my wheelhouse profiling wise. So a lot of the testing probably won't really be like performance testing, because again, with the art style and everything that we're going with here, pretty much on everything above Intel HD graphics, you should be fine. But the main thing is I will want people to find bugs and stuff, and I don't want to just give out the early testing to everyone, because I don't want people who pass by the channel, who see the project, become interested in it, download the early test thinking that it's close to the final build, and being like, oh shit, this is not finished, this is real buggy or anything like that. So just so you know, first couple of play tests that I send out to people, it'll be through Patreon. There will definitely after that be play tests before it goes public and we call it finished, or hitting beta or whatever. It was especially a problem while I was in the early days of programming. Yeah. I may be getting aboard the hype train. Awesome. Well, I mean, hey, here's the thing. The hype train can't be like too overblown, because I'm not trying to sell it, man. Like, there's not going to be, I'm not fucking lying when I say this. There's no in-app purchases, no nothing. If you just like the game, please go over and support me on Patreon. If you like the game and you want to see it finished, the more people that support me on Patreon, the more I feel like it is worth it to keep downing my time in here, which I don't think that's going to change. This is kind of like an insane project. I love it. I absolutely love it. If one of the things that I am really excited about is if you see the actual UI HUD at the bottom, we're taking inspiration from PUBG there. Because PUBG like has it all down here. I really like that. Like really like that. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff like I really like when you change your fire mode. Like and by the way, when you start the game, like it fading away, the text there, it being there and fading away at the beginning, that won't be there in the actual final build. That's literally one line of code that I just have to change. But I haven't changed it yet. It won't take any time. But like I love the fact that like just that changed fire mode full auto there. I love it. It's so nice. Yep, got to manage some expectations. But hopefully you guys will all enjoy the project when it hits, like, you know, I don't know, alpha. I mean, alpha is definitely a ways away. We have a lot of systems to implement before it's done, or not done, but even in alpha. I mean, just in case anyone wasn't here in the stream, I'll read through the systems on the doc page. So we obviously still need the inventory. We need a main menu and a pause menu. We have recoil and weapon switching figured out. Those systems implemented. We need weapon attachments like vertical grips, like a lightweight grip or something like that, and then need red dot sights, ACOG sights, like 6x sights. We'll need all of that shit if we're going to implement it. I think I will go down here into the game document and I'll figure out exactly all the weapon attachments that I want to have in the game. It probably won't be more than 10 total in the game, because again, not shooting for hyper advanced here. We want all of the systems to be cool and engaging, but not hyper complex. So yeah, all right, I have been rambling on for too long. I need to go get me some food in my system before the fam gets here. I hope all of you guys have a great time. It was a joy talking with all of you and working with you guys. Take it easy. I'll see you in the next one. Boy.